Hey guys, I'm back with another review. Today it's going to be on the Lethal Gaming Gear Venus. This mousepad was sent out to me for review purposes, but that won't reflect on anything I say in this video. Let's first start off with how the mousepad came packaged and the overall quality of my unit that I have here. Like all the non-pro lethal pads, it came rolled up in your average typical mousepad box. The pad did not lay flat immediately, but it took about a week or two of light to medium use for it to lay completely flat as you see here. The overall quality on my unit that I have here has been amazing so far. It looks the same as the day I took out of the box. The stitching, no fraying or anything, still looks the same as the day I took out of the box as well. The base is also holding up very well. Not once has the pad moved in heavy tracking scenarios or quick flicks. I do prefer these bases over the artisan bases, as they just stick to my desk way better. Now on to how the overall surface feels. This mousepad is made from synthetic material and has an almost plasticky feel, just like the Hot-Tail 2 for example. This mousepad has a rougher surface, but one that isn't too abrasive and will take some time to get used to. The X and Y on this mousepad feel identical, and given what mouse speed you're using at the time, there is some feedback from the pad. Micro adjustments are effortless and long flicks feel like butter, but the pad has some control to stop on a dime. The base on this mousepad is quite firm, so people that like digging into their mouse into the pad will not be able to do so on this pad. And just for example, to show you how firm the pad is, my mouse barely sinks into the surface at all. So in front of me now, I have two mouse pads. On the right is the Venus that I've been talking about, and then on the left is my Hayate Otsu and Extra Soft. I'm first going to start off with the bases, as they are pretty different from each other. On the right, you have a firm base, but also a base that sticks better to my desk, for me at least. And then on the left, a very spongy, soft base that, for me at least, doesn't stick to the desk as much as the Venus. I'm going to show a little example of how the bases feel. As you can kind of see, the mouse does sink into the pad just a bit more than the Venus on the right. The Venus to me is very firm, almost has no give, while the Hayato Otsu in Extra Soft has a lot of give to it. Now it's time to compare the Hayato Otsu versus the Venus. The overall surface of the Hayato Otsu feels very smooth. It's less abrasive than the Venus for sure. The Venus took about 2 to 3 days for me to actually get used to the surface feel, while the Hayato Otsu took about 2 to 3 hours. The Hot-Tail 2 is just a mousepad you can just put on your desk and start using immediately without feeling any discomfort at all. In terms of micro adjustments, the Venus feels slower and more controlled with the micro adjustments compared to the Artisan. The Artisan micro adjustments, they feel about the same, but just a bit smoother. In terms of long flicks and tracking, I found the Hayato Otsu personally to be too slippery. The Venus is a perfect middle ground between fast and slow. It's a perfect middle ground. It's a perfect controlled hybrid mousepad. Most of the control you get from the Hayato Otsu is actually from the amount of pressure you put into the mousepad, while the Venus, most of the control you get is from the actual surface itself. And that's why I actually prefer the Venus over the Hayate Otsu. The Hayate Otsu for me was too slippery and almost didn't have the amount of control I was looking for. The Venus is perfect. It's almost like the Hayate Otsu, just more controlled. Now it's time to talk about the overall quality of the mouse pads. This is also going to be kind of a competition between Artisan mouse pads and all of the Lethal Gaming Gear non-pro mouse pads. Starting off with the stitching. The stitching on a Venus is raised and it's above the surface, but it's very soft as you won't notice it in game. While the Artisan, the stitching lays beneath the surface and is a bit firmer than the Venus pad, but you won't notice any of these in game. As for the surface and how they've held up in the months I've been using them, the Artisan I've been using for 6 to 7 months, and there's no dead spots or any deficiencies at all. Venus I've been using for 1 to 2 months, and same as the Artisan, no dead spots or deficiencies at all. And the quality of the base, the Artisan base, when it wants to stick to your desk, is almost feels like double-sided tape almost. You have to peel it off your desk, while the Venus is your traditional mousepad base, but just feels a little bit more high quality than normal OEM mouse bases. The lethal base also sticks better to my desk than the Artisan base. The Artisan base, for it to stick to my desk, I actually have to spray my desk with water for it to stick. In terms of what I like better, I do think the Venus, for the price that you're paying for the mousepad, you're getting really good quality, while the Artisan is good if you really appreciate top quality. Now on to what mousepad I recommend to someone. I personally recommend both of these mousepads, but for a certain person. The Venus I recommend to someone that plays tac shooters and also heavy paced games. The Hate Otsu I would recommend to someone that is maybe switching off of a Skypad or something like that, but wants something that has more control and mostly plays very heavy tracking games. For me personally, I'm going to stick with the Venus, as it's the price, the quality and performance is there, while the Artisan to me is just overhyped in my opinion. In terms if I recommend this mousepad to someone, I 100% do, and as the title of the video says, this is one of the best mousepads I've tried this year so far. The price to performance and the price to quality is there, it 100% is. It's just a fantastic mousepad for heavy tracking games, and this mousepad will also work in games like Valorant and Siege, as it has the control you're looking for, but also has enough speed for games like Apex. Next, I'm just going to show off some clips that I hit with this mousepad, and then I'm just going to conclude the video after that. As you saw in that little montage that I put together, I played very well this mousepad. My tracking felt very smooth and controlled, and my pinpoint accuracy felt very on point. Overall, I'm super happy with this mousepad, and I 100% recommend if you have a chance to try or buy the mousepad to do so. If you have any questions about the mousepad, I'll try my best to answer all questions in the comments. But that's all for today, guys. Bye.